Hello. Hi, friends. If you're watching this, thanks for being here. Sorry I disappeared for a while. I am still writing my book. I am still making content. If you're not following me on Instagram and TikTok, I've been active there. I've been posting shorts here, but my free trial of Final Cut Pro ended, and I just didn't know what video editing software to use after that happened, and I didn't really want to drop $300 on Final Cut Pro. I'm still kind of up in the air if I want to go ahead and invest in that software, but I decided to pivot and try something else for the time being. But that's why I haven't been posting any videos, because I couldn't edit my content, or my video content at least. So that's where I have been. I have missed posting on YouTube. I've missed connecting with you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm looking forward to connecting with you guys in the comments. So what's been going on? It's been 2 months since I posted my last long form content video, my last writing update, and I am literally like 3,000 words from hitting halfway in my second draft for Project Hourglass, so that's exciting. I had to set some daily word count goals again because imposter syndrome was sort of getting the best of me. Editing syndrome was sort of getting the best of me. And if you're new here, I'm currently writing the second draft of my debut fantasy novel, which I'm referring to as Project Hourglass. I wrote draft one, ended around 106,000 words, like full-fledged novel. And I realized that I needed to give it sort of an overhaul. Like my main character, Eris, she needed to just be different for many different reasons. I wanted to take the story in a different direction. I realized that sort of the purpose of my story, the plot, it just wasn't sitting with me, and everything needed to change essentially. There's very little that didn't change in my book. And so I started draft two, and I was really excited to start draft two, but because it's my second draft, I sort of got in this mindset that, like I should be editing, it should be more polished, it should, just be different and better and yada yada, when really what I needed to do was treat it more like a draft 1.5, where I need to still just focus on getting the words on the page. I need to be, really focus on getting the story down and worrying about editing and polishing and making it better later. What's been cool though with writing my second draft is I can see how I'm already a stronger writer because I wrote draft one. So there's not as much that I look at and I'm like, oh my God, this really is going to need some help. Although I say that, and I'll go back and reread past chapters of the second draft and realize where I could make it better. So I kind of just contradicted myself there, but all of that to say, draft two is already a much stronger draft than my first. And I need to remind myself of that and focus on the task at hand, which is getting the story alive and written. And so I think setting the daily word count goals has been really, really good. I haven't hit it every single day. Life happens, kids happen. But right now I'm aiming for 1,300 words, and I would say I've been hitting it 90% of the time. And even if I'm not hitting it every single day, it's still moving the needle forward. I have broken it down so that if I can hit my goals, I should be done with draft two by February 15th. So that's not very far away. I think I'm probably going to have to play a little bit of catch up, to still make that date happen, but that's okay. I just really didn't want it to go on and on longer than it needed. And I really needed that structure to keep me moving forward in my book. And so that feels really good. My writing partner is sort of doing the same thing. She is also on draft two, but she's feeling more confident like in her story and how it's written. It didn't need an overhaul like mine did. And so she's been sort of keeping herself accountable by editing a certain number of pages of her book each day. And so I just think that goes to show there's a lot of flexibility when it comes to figuring out what works for you, what keeps you on track, It doesn't have to be word count. Your goals don't have to look like my goals, but I think as long as you are, again, holding yourself accountable to showing up for your book, I would say every single day, like then you're looking really good. So anyway, that's kind of where I'm at. That is where I'm at when it comes to my book progress. I'm really, really excited about where my story is going this time. Project Hourglass follows a princess. Her name is Eris Ravenar, and basically she sets out to save her kingdom from this mysterious blight that's like sucking the life from her kingdom. I'm trying to work on the government. I mean, I'm not actively working on the government because I am focusing on just getting the story down. You see how scatterbrained I am. But I need to figure out the government system a little bit better because right now I have it so that the continent is ruled by a king, and then the continent is divided into territories, and those territories are ruled by the ruling houses, is what I'm calling them. But I refer to Eris as a princess because she is the heir to the throne of Sylvanarch, which is where she's from, obviously. But it just feels a little confusing sometimes when I'm thinking about it or talking about it out loud, where I'm like, she's a princess, but she's not the king's daughter. And so if you're watching this and you have any ideas for like government systems or what I might call her instead of princess, feel free and drop them in the comments. Right now, I've been referring to her as both princess and heiress. Not heiress, her name. Heiress as in like the heir. And I don't know. I think that's something that I can spend more time, ironing out the details of once I get draft 2 completed and I feel really solid about the story as a whole. But it is something that sort of like nags me at the back of my head when I'm not writing, where I'm like, man, I'm writing this and, it's very fluent in the story, but do I want it to stay like that? I don't know. But that's also just the process of writing a book, is you try something out, and if it doesn't work out, that's fine. It can always be changed later. But again, that's kind of where I've struggled with writing draft 2, is feeling like I should have more of these details solidified. But on the other hand, I am fully prepared for the fact that I may need a 3rd, 4th, 5th draft, maybe more than that. I hope not. I'm trying to be efficient in writing my book, like letting the process be what it is, but also not sort of like dragging my feet just for the sake of dragging my feet. And so I think that's honestly been my biggest struggle lately, is just sort of like moving forward, like making a decision, sticking with it, not letting all of this outside noise hold me back, especially when it's not imperative to know right now for my story. Like if I call Eris a princess right now, that's fine, because if I decide to change it later, that's a very easy fix versus, deciding the motives of the bad guy in my story, the antagonist. I need to know that, and I do know it now, which is really nice. I didn't in my last draft. But just also recognizing, what should be prioritized, what can wait, and not getting distracted by the things that can definitely wait. So yeah, if you're writing a book, I'd love to know, what's your struggle in your writing process? Is it showing up consistently? Is it getting stuck in an editing loop? Do you prefer to take the time, mapping out your characters versus actually writing about your characters? I actually don't really like creating character profiles. I think it's because I'm such a discovery writer. I can sit down and sort of give you the bare bones of what I want each of my characters to sort of be like, but then I really need them to tell me through my writing who they are. I have a difficult time planning it ahead of time. And I'm curious to see, like, in my writing career, if that's something that continues, or if it's sort of like a debut author problem, an inexperienced author problem, or if it's even just impatience because I don't want to sit down and take the time. Because that's something else I was thinking of too after finishing draft 1 of Project Hourglass and realizing that it wasn't where it needed to be by a long shot was, do I need with my next book to sit down and really like take the time to outline and fill in the details, because that's essentially what my first draft ended up being, was a very, very, very detailed outline. And that's frustrating to me. And I don't know that I want to always have that be my process, but I also don't know if it will always be my process. This is the first book I'm writing, and so that's sort of where I'm at a disadvantage, is I don't have the experience under my belt yet. And that's okay, but it definitely kind of irks me. If I'm being honest, it totally irks me. But that's pretty much it for my writing updates. Again, hoping to be done by February 15th, taking the steps that I need to take to make it, not just wishing for it to happen. I just finished reading Chloe Gong's These Violent Delights and the second book in the duology, Our Violent Ends, I think. So good. If you're looking for a read, or if you're looking for a book to add to your TBR, you should add that duology. I cannot stop talking about it. I've been posting it on my Instagram, and I'm sure everyone's kind of tired of it, but so good. So good. It's about two rival gangs in Shanghai, and it's sort of a Romeo and Juliet retelling, but with a twist, and it is phenomenal. I'm currently reading the sister series to those books. The first one is called Foul Lady Fortune. I just finished it, but of course, Libby doesn't have the second of the duology. It said that their, what's the word, like license for it or the rights to it expired. And so I requested that they renew their rights to it because I really want to listen to it. And I have a feeling I'll buy them, but I want something to listen to while I work, because I also run Studio Lex. But in lieu of not having the second book to listen to, I picked up Starling House on Libby by Alix Harrow. I probably butchered that, but it's already pretty spooky sounding. I honestly don't really know what it's about. I think I saw somebody else recommend it, and it was super random. It wasn't fantasy. I've been looking to mix it up. And so I requested it on Libby. There was no wait time, and I started it. And after I finish this video and I go work on jewelry, I'm going to listen to more of it. But I'm only like 10 minutes in, and already I'm very intrigued. I'm excited to see where the story goes. And I'm excited for some spooky vibes because I've been missing it after finishing Ninth House and Hellbent. And then for book club, we are reading The Last Letter by Rebecca Yarros. I'm excited to read her other work. I feel like after she released Fourth Wing, and regardless of how you feel about Fourth Wing, I know... Hello, hopefully you can hear me okay. I'm not recording at my normal time. My toddler is still up. The sun has not fully risen, so the lighting isn't the best. But when I was editing my video, I realized that my microphone cut out right there at the end. It left about 4 minutes hanging, so that was a little annoying, but it could have been worse. I was actually really relieved to find out that it wasn't as bad as it could have been. But that being said, I want to finish my thought from the video. So if I remember correctly, I was talking about The Last Letter by Rebecca Yarros. I'm excited to read something different by her, something outside of Fourth Wing and dragons and fantasy. It's a book club pick. I can't remember if I said that already, but it was a book club pick that one of my friends chose. And so that's something that I do really enjoy about book club, is reading titles that I wouldn't normally pick up just of my own volition. So far, I'm enjoying the story. I'm about 5 or 6 chapters in, maybe more. Just the writing is a little off for me. And I don't mean that to sound super critical, but the writing is just different than what I was expecting. It almost reads like a little YA to me, even though the characters are adults. And so that's a little off, but I'm trying to give the book time to sort of stew in my hands and see if I can sort of just like get into a flow. I've also had family in town visiting, so I haven't had a ton of time to just sit and get immersed in the book. So that could be part of it. It could totally be a me thing, but I suppose that we will see. I will update once I finish the book and let you know what I thought about it. I'm also on Goodreads now. I haven't been on Goodreads, but I finally made one. You can find me if you just look up Alexis Quinn, just like my handle. Maybe I'll link it in my YouTube bio. I should probably do that. But anyway, if you've made it this far into my video, thank you so much for being here. I'm really looking forward to being consistent on YouTube again, now that I've found a software that I'm enjoying that also doesn't cost $300. So anyway, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. I'd love to hear from you in the comments, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye!